Kingston is a small city in the Hudson Valley, kind of the gateway to the Catskills, as it were.
I've always loved books. I've always loved games. I've always been a little unconventional, so having a 9-to-5 desk job just didn't appeal to me.
I bought the store as it was about to go under in 2009.
Starting in college, I went to a bookstore in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, where you could also get drinks and food, and they had events all the time, music and comedy, things like that. And I thought it was a really great vision of what a bookstore could be.
Chris and I had known each other for a long time. He does book repair for me. One day he said, hey, I'm thinking about opening a comic book store. And I was like, well, why don't you sell out of my store first and make sure people really want to buy comic books?
And we showed up at Half Moon Books with a box of comics. It wasn't until we opened our brick and mortar space. So we really could spread things out and get an even more diverse array of stuff in here. And, there's just a lot more foot traffic, which makes a big difference.
The Professional Library Association for Librarians is called ALA, American Library Association, and they actually have an Office of Intellectual Freedom, and they have reported that there has been a huge increase in banned and challenged books across the country.
Particularly recently in the political climate in which we find ourselves, it is school districts, school boards, and communities.
The current bans and challenges almost always seem to come from concerned parents
who are afraid of having children learn about things, again, from marginalized people. They don't want the history of slavery in this country told. They don't want children learning about lifestyles other than their own, sexual orientations other than their own.
Books, whatever you're reading, they make you a more knowledgeable person, and that people should be free to read and make their decisions based on what they're reading.
Banning books doesn't solve anything, and in fact, these books, especially when we're talking about things like This One Summer or Genderqueer, these are books that people relate to because they need it, in the sense that they're already there. This isn't leading them somewhere that they weren't already headed. And it gives them something to connect to and to understand that they're not alone.
And I often try to encourage parents to let their kids read as broadly as possible, because if they read it while they're still home with you, you can still have a conversation about it.
Being a bookstore, we certainly keep our eye on what's going on in the news, challenges in school districts and libraries right now. We actually participated in a banned book fair at the Old Dutch Church a couple of weeks ago that the other bookstores in town also participated in.
I was having a conversation with the commissioned lay pastor here, Pastor Rob Sweeney. I wanted to put one of those little free libraries out front so that people could come take a book, leave a book.
And I thought, I'm not going to go through the zoning to try to get that little thing put up. I said, we want to do something bigger. And I was like, there's 3 or 4 of those libraries already around the neighborhood. And so Pastor Becky, who I work with, she says, well, maybe we could do a little banned book library. I
said, what do you think about this? And he said, well, what do you think about a banned book fair? And I said, I think that is an absolutely grand idea. Let's run with it.
Luckily, we have a tight community, and so we could ask our neighbors, our independent booksellers, to help us out, and they were in really quickly.
What we did was we went and got a list of the challenged books, and we pulled as many copies as we had.
Ultimately, though, we wanted to do something outdoors because we're thinking if it's all hidden away, how's anyone really going to know? So we kind of came up with this idea of doing readings from banned books and having our local celebrities and to come and read for us.
I reached out to one of the local Kingston drag queens. Her name is Pinky Socrates, and she does the story time at the Kingston Library. So I asked her if she would do it for us, and she said yes.
So just entering in, you knew this was going to be something where you're going to find some welcome. We were going to stretch you a little bit before you come in, but everyone who came in was really excited about what we were doing and had high praise for the idea and just coming together as a community to celebrate our freedoms as they are currently being sort of sucked away.
I do think what we do is valuable.
My hope is that we bring to Uptown Kingston sort of a safe haven for people who like ideas.
If people are telling you not to read it, you should read it. Go check them out. Ask your librarians for those books.
Books give us a deeper understanding into lives and cultures that are different than ours.
To ban them means to say, no, these aren't allowed here.
The attacks on literature and public education over the last year by a vocal minority who want to ban books and dictate public school curriculum are even more alarming.
Freedom of expression and the curious nature of humans, which are more powerful forces than the act of book banning, compel the reader to seek out and read the banned materials.
I read and own all of these books.
Books are kind of like our gateway to progressiveness.
I believe actually make children more well-rounded people.
Without the knowledge and perspective we gain from books, it is impossible to form opinions and make informed decisions.